Are you guys good with the temperature in here? Okay. So then there was today, right? You have a strap in the block? Okay, good. So the beginning of this class, we're just gonna breathe for like 5 minutes. Does that sound good? Because it's so beneficial, even just 3 breaths throughout these next couple of weeks or whenever. I mean, if it's not a stressor coming at us this way, it will be this one coming this way next week or next year or whatever. So anytime, 3 deep breaths, emptying the lungs completely, just can change your life, right? So if you have something that you need to sit on, you know, lower compression of the spine, if you're sitting regular, if you need to lift the hips a little bit, go ahead and do that. Even if it's a blanket or something. Can you see me all right, Jesse, with this fan here? Okay. So you can just take regular Sukhasana. If you want to take a different pose like half lotus or full lotus, you're welcome to do that, or Siddhasana. We won't be taking a mudra, but we are going to be using a mantra, Satnam. No. So hum, S-O-H-A-M. And when you're talking about Sanskrit, there's, it's not pronounced ham. So ham. So ham. It's so hum. The A's are pronounced like U's. So basically it is like I am, you know, and it can be very powerful. You're going to say it in your mind. So I won't make you say it out loud, but at home, if you're ever given an opportunity where you can be still and, you know, use this mantra, there's different meridians in the body and how we place our tongue in different ways using this language or making different sounds stimulates different parts of the adrenal glands and things like that. So that's why these are so powerful. And when you're saying these mantras out loud, the vibrations also make a really big difference in the body. I mean, you've seen those, you know, YouTube videos where they're using music to make pictures with the sand and stuff like that. Like that stuff is, it brings us into balance as well. And that's what we're looking for, at least for today. We're seeking balance. The postures we do today will be very slow and very deliberate. We're going to be working on the legs and the arms pretty deeply, but not moving very much. So you can go ahead and take your own mudra or just have your hands on your knees and sit nice and tall. When you're ever chanting a mantra or just breathing one or whispering one, you want to be sitting up tall to keep access of those energy channels on either side of the spine. So what it will look like is inhaling, so, exhaling, hum. So, hum. And we're not going to force the breath. We're going to let it come and go. So as we inhale, hum as we exhale. We use mantras to cross over from our linear thinking of the mind into something higher and more spiritual. So just connect with that. I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes and we're going to breathe for 5 minutes. Bring awareness to your sitting bones and all the parts of the body that are touching the mat. You have the option to keep your eyes closed here as we move on to a seated Vidalasana, doing arching and lifting the chest, or you can have the eyes open. So your hands will kind of slide back and forth on the knees. And you can do this by still just kind of focusing internally. But you can exhale, push the front of the body to the back of the body, and then inhale, lift the chest, hold the shoulders back. Exhale, round, really drop the head and let the neck stretch too. You're gonna do this with the pace of your breath. Continue back and forth, moving with the inhale and the exhale. Lengthening the spine, bringing mobility to the spine. I will be excited if I can still do headstand when I'm 70, but I'd rather still be able to move like this, you know? Go ahead and we'll do 3 more rounds and then just come back to neutral. You can still even keep the eyes closed for a moment or two. Moving nice and slow tonight. We are in no rush to leave this space, right? Once you're back at a neutral position with the spine, we're going to move into Gomukhasana. So cow face pose. We are going to try to cross our legs the best we can. What you can do, I want to see where you guys are at with it first. There are modifications such as just keep one leg out. We don't really want joints hanging out in the air, say like this. So try to stack the knees as much as you can. And as long as your knee is supported, good. You guys are good. Jesse, I'm assuming that your hips are okay in this too. Okay. Now, you have 2 options here because we're going to add the arms. And we're seeking balance in this pose, just like with anything else. We want to try to, you know, line everything up best we can. We can press our heels away from the body. We're going to take the strap and add the arms. So the arms are this that we normally do. You don't need a strap to do that. You can just do the best you can. Bring your arm, right arm up, ear lined up with the inner arm. Even rotate the pinky in to try to ground the femur in the socket and try to get the arm as straight as possible. Yes, so if you have the strap, you'll hold the strap and bend at the elbow. Even if you don't, you just bend at the elbow, palm will face down, try to get in between the area of the shoulder blades, not in between the shoulder blades, but just center of the back on the spine. And then left arm will come forward, point the thumb down, and keep rotating that shoulder internally, reaching the fingers up. You're either gonna grab the strap or grab your fingers. And I think, Alexis, there's one side where you don't need the strap for this, I think. Let me remember. But they're so neat. I do have on my non-slippery pants today, but I did run into that problem, I think, in a class with you. And Nicole, with your shoulder, if you just want to opt out of this and just do something like something else that feels good, does it feel okay? Okay, that actually looks really good. You must be good. Okay. Yes. Yeah, your elbow is like pretty much straight up. So now try to lift the chest, spread the collarbones, and try to press the lower inner edges of the shoulder blades into the back. Because that's where we're always trying to get stronger. The chest wants to take over for so many things. We get tight pectoral muscles, tight shoulder sockets. We're gonna stay here for one more breath. And then go ahead and release the arms first. It's like focusing on the arms makes you forget that your legs were just all tied up. Bring the legs straight. Can bounce them around just a little bit before we get onto the other side. You know, even, gosh, I had a class this morning and it was just so slow. Like, are you guys digging that for tonight? Like, can we just, okay. All right, left leg on the bottom. Try to get the knee pointing straight out, but we've already discussed modifications. Or the other side of whatever. Yep, as long as you do both. Balance, right? Okay, good. And now take the left arm up. My shoulders are super sore. I did the whole primary series yesterday and I can't say I regret it, but I feel it. I never regret it. Pinky towards the midline of the body. So just for a moment, take your pinky out and you can feel how that rotates the socket out, right? When you bring the pinky in, it deepens and grounds the shoulder. Okay, bend at the elbow, right thumb down. Try to keep that elbow up towards the ceiling, reach behind. And wherever you are, you are. Do your best to lift the chest. And that same breathing we were doing at the beginning, even as we get into these positions, just like in life, we continue to breathe slow and steady. You're going to be using your arms later. This is why we're opening them. Take one more breath here. Deep, deep breath. And then exhale, slowly release. Straighten the legs out. Kind of neutralize the hips. And then you can keep the strap for some side bends or do it without. Just bring the left arm up and over, lean to the right. I'm gonna take 3 breaths here. Yep. So if you're doing it with the strap, yep, you'll just lean to the right. And then bring that left hand down, inhale the right arm up, exhale, lean to the left. And then go ahead and bring that hand down. So strap goes down too. We're gonna be doing a lot of internal rotation with the hips and the shoulders, okay? So the first one, do you have like a shirt or something? Because you might not actually even need, you might not need it, but just in case, because we're going to bring the right leg forward and the left leg back. And I just wanna make sure, is your knee okay here if you do that? You're good, all right. Okay, what you can do is roll, and Jesse, you're familiar with this one, Triangle Mukha Ekapada. Okay, good. So if you have the strap or want to use a strap, because you don't have to, you are definitely more flexible coming forward. What I want you to really feel here and focus on is the internal rotation of this left leg and the femur and where it's lying in the socket. So I can certainly round my back and you can feel the femur kind of lift. And this involves the pelvic floor as well. But if I'm sitting up, I can feel the femur head lift up. It's very intricate feeling, right? And so to make it a little bit more complicated, see if you can, because we're seeking balance, remember, see if you can, without letting the belly and the butt take over, because they're big groups of muscles that will think they're your pelvic floor, but they are not. See if you can take the left side of the pelvic floor and lift it up towards the right lower back, and see that the pelvis will lift and even out. Do you feel that? Now, and if you didn't, that's okay too, because it's not as accessible, but it's just a way to feel it with the internal rotation, sinking the hips back. Now exhale and come forward, either fingertips on either side of the leg, or take the strap, and you can have the elbows bent, leading with the heart. Really focus on the inner edges of the shoulder blades, drawing them towards each other. Not to close off the back. Keep the back broad and the chest broad evenly. Where do you guys feel it the most? In your calf muscles, really? Interesting. And you too? That I know. Now I get to know more about your body too. How about you? Probably your foot, right? Okay. And Jesse, I'm guessing you feel it in your hip or your hamstring. Just one hamstring. Yeah. Okay. How's your foot? See if you can tuck the top of it on top of the mat and see if it cooperates with you, even just for like a breath. Because we're gonna, yep, inhale, look up, and then exhale, release. All right, bring the left foot forward, the right leg back. We're gonna be building on this exact pose shortly. Set yourself up on the side, notice any differences. So again, picture the femur head in the hip socket. If you're rounding the back, it comes out. If you're sitting up, it comes in, which is where we want it for stability, right? Now see if you can take your right side of your pelvic floor and lift it up towards the lower left back. It's not always this huge movement. It's just like a small, sometimes it's just a visceral feeling. Now inhale and see if you can get a little bit taller. And then exhale, just really concave the belly, engaging the bandhas, fingertips on either side of the leg. You know, I feel this in like my outer shin. Yeah. Notice the differences on one side from the other. Press out through the ball mount of the big toe. That'll keep the femur back in the socket. It's good to know that everyone's knees are okay for this though. So we can move on to my next plan for you. Alexis has been coming to this class for a while. I know, I'm like, ha 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 ha. She's like, what are we gonna do? Try to take 2 more breaths here. And then inhale, look up, and exhale, release. Go ahead and bring that foot forward. And something, when you're doing hero pose, Ardha Virasana, you know, half hero pose, which we kind of pretty much just did, just take your kneecaps and move them back and forth. Something that one of my teachers, this, you know, like a year ago, I kind of sought out studying with my teacher's teachers who I was telling you about. And something that I learned from Ramadan Patel. He worked directly with BKS Iyengar. He's an old guy. I have a picture of him. I think I showed you. He's wearing a Snoopy shirt. And I was like, this guy's wearing a Snoopy shirt. Snoopy was doing yoga poses though. But the one thing he taught me, because we weren't, like, to sit in his class, you had to be either in hero pose or Siddhasana, where the heels are lined up. And so after, he's like, stretch your knees out. Always stretch your knees out. So take your kneecaps and just feel them for a moment, because we're going to have to do this again. If your knees typically go in, it's probably easier to push them in. Not so much to push them out. Just kind of play with that. You can change your knees over time. You know, they don't have to continuously go through that with that habit. You can manipulate your knees, right? Okay, ready? Bring your mat with you. Find a spot on the wall. So you'll probably be good there. You'll probably be good there. And then Susan, you'll probably be good right there. So just push your mat up to the wall. Jesse, whatever small spot you have on the wall that is as wide as your body will work good. And you can even fold your mat in half. You might want a little bit of extra cushion. And bring, let's see, you can use your bolster, Nicole, or you do have a block, right? Okay, get your block. Jesse, have your block. And Susan, you might be okay without it, but even if you, do you have a water bottle with you or something? No, okay, well, let's just see how it goes, okay? I gotta find a part of the wall that's not, okay. These are my pizza beads because I'm a little fiery today. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. Make sure Jesse can see me. We are gonna take our legs just how we had them, but except instead of having the legs straight, it's gonna be bent. So we're taking this on the wall, half hero, okay? Knee straight down. You're gonna need to support yourself to bring this foot forward. I saw you all in this pose, so I know you'll be okay because with the bent knee, it's even easier. You can have a block here or just use your knee for support. The heel will be right outside of the hip, right? And if you're feeling okay here, just continue to rise up. Continue to rise up. And then once you arrive, I'm gonna have you take that next step. It's good though, right? It's so good. It's like a good kind of ow. Definitely feels different from sitting down. And if your foot starts to get mad at you, Susan, you can come out of it. You guys all look good here. You good, Jesse? Okay, so likely your pelvis looks like this right now. So take your right pelvic floor. No, is it pretty even? Yes, that doesn't count because you already know, because you're used to doing that. Take your right side of your pelvic floor and lift it towards your lower back. Even out the pelvis. Don't let the butt and the abdomen take over. Now, if you're good here, you could ideally go all the way back to the wall. Just go further maybe, or stay where you are. Yeah. The side that listens better to you. We're gonna stay here for 3 more breaths. See if your pelvis is shifted. See if the left hip has gotten higher or vice versa. And go ahead and bring your hands to your knees or the block or the floor. And so you can take a moment to kneel down or whatever, or straighten your leg out. Yeah. So anytime we're doing this hero pose where we're really stretching, standing up would be a good thing to put muscular work back into it. When you're ready, go ahead for the other one. Be sure that the knee is pointing straight down. We want that knee to be perpendicular, or that leg, upper leg bone, the femur bone, to be perpendicular to the wall. Get as close to the wall as you can, and then bring the right foot out. Ah, yes. Do you feel it more in the hip or the quadriceps? Me too. I don't even feel it in, and do you know why? A big reason is because, well, if your heel is on the outside of the leg, your femur is turned in. So you're really sinking back. And that's what we're focusing on, is that sinking back grounded feeling. Okay, ready? Do your pelvic floor work. So you'll lift the right side towards the left lower back. Did you feel it even out? Or is this like really strange for you? Pelvic floor stuff can be really ambiguous. So if you don't have it right now, it also could feel like you just dropping your right hip a little bit and balancing the pelvis out. See if you can go a little further, maybe a little closer to the wall, or stay exactly where you are. Now, I'm going to add a thing here. We don't want to sacrifice squishing the kidneys in the back of the body. So use your breath to expand the rib cage and stay tall. And keep the front of the body soft, or the lower ribs soft. We could stay here for 10 years. I don't think that the stretch will ever go away, but we'll just take another breath and come out of it. And go ahead and bring your hands down. Bring your knees back to the floor. Slowly stand up. You can stay in a forward fold here, or you can just move the knees around. Have you guys done that pose before on the wall? Have you? Did you love it more today? It doesn't, it's just, go ahead and bring your mats back to where they were. Yeah, you might just be a little tighter today, could be. All right, come to hands and knees and up into downward facing dog. You guys are all familiar with downward facing dog, so I can just kind of watch you. Okay, pedal the feet out. Get some movement in the body, move however you'd like here. All of your hands and wrists and fingers look great. Arms are nice and straight. Inner elbows look good. One thing I do want you to focus on to keep with the internal rotation of the femur heads is press the ball mounds of the big toes into the mat. Just keep that weight right below the big toe and press and see if that changes your down dog at all today. And just kind of explore that. Go ahead and inhale to look up and then step forward. Exhale, fold. We're not coming up right away. Press all four corners of the feet on the mat. You can separate the feet a little bit. You can grab opposite elbows and kind of dangle here for a moment. Let your head hang. No matter how scary things get, the head does not always need to know what's going on. That would be called faith, right? You know, I'm not going to throw my coffee at you right now with your head down. Inhale to look up. You can bring your fingertips back to the mat. Now bring the finger or the hands to the thighs, upper thighs, lengthen through the crown of the head. Take a moment here. Get a nice flat back. Lengthen through the top of the head. And slightly bend the knees. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good. Okay, so we are going to do 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar just to move the body a little bit before we move on to more standing stuff. Okay, now when you do your 5 breaths, it can be either down dog or child's pose, yogi's choice. Go ahead and inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, fold, moving nice and slow. Inhale, look up. Exhale, chaturanga. You can even use your knees if you want. Inhale to cobra or up dog, your choice. And exhale, take it back. Hips are either back on the heels or downward dog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale to look up, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale your arms all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. The plant is pretty, but dang it, it gets in the way. Here, you can come closer to me even, because, are you good? Okay, one more time. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Drop the head. Inhale, now look up, straight back. Exhale, chaturanga. Full exhale. Inhale, up. Exhale, take it back, yogi's choice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, look up, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Back to Tadasana. Okay, come to the front of your mats for Tadasana and just hang your arms like they would normally hang. Don't try to line anything up or whatever. Just do what muscularly is happening. And you guys are engaging your back, aren't you?